Today we're going to be talking about what does it mean to have the lemonade attitude and why this series exists and what the goal is. Um, for me, the goal is to think more positively, to turn things that look like they're happening against us into something that is actually really good. What would you say, Lynn?
Well, everyone, I love it. You came up with the name. I love it because it really is what the reality formula teaches. It teaches that that we always have a choice about how we see things. And isn't that it's that old metaphor of you've got a glass of water sitting in front of you. Is it half empty or half full? And it just depends on your perspective. And it's so true in life. And because we're vibrational beings, and the vibration that we experience is the one created by the way we think about life. That it makes all the difference in the world whether I see that glass is half empty or half full. Because as a vibrational being, when I see something through the positive aspect of it, both can be true. It is half empty. It is half full. It's not like one is true and one is not. It's just that one carries a very different vibration than the other. When you say the glass is half full, you're thinking I've got plenty. There's enough. There's more than enough. I'm going to be satisfied. I am satisfied. There's more to come. When you see it as less full, as half empty, then all of a sudden I got to hold on. There's not enough there for me. There's lack. And this is the way it is in life. So that when I think thoughts that are seeing the world as full of abundance and full of what I have. And I'm not just talking about money. Actually, I'm not even talking about money or finances. I'm talking about the abundance of everything. When I see it as being half full, as being just, I have, here I am at this stage of my life and I have everything I need. It's all taken care of. And there's more to come and I can't use it all up. And that's a very different attitude than looking at life and going, oh, well, using it all up and I may not have enough to last. And how am I going to get by? You can feel the difference between the vibrational difference between contraction and expansion. And expansion brings more expansion and contraction brings more contraction. So you choose how you want to see it. And that's what I think of when I think about this Lemonade series is us giving little tips to people about here's the way you can see it through a lens that says it's half full, at least, if not abundantly overflowing, more like it. So that's what I think when I hear that or think about that lemonade attitude. Can you think of some examples or what comes to your mind, Ketta, of a time when you've practiced this? Recently, can you think of a recent time?
Well, when you put me on the spot, nothing comes to my mind.
The glass is suddenly half empty.
But I will say that one of the tricks that I use in my life, I call it a trick, is that I ask myself a series of questions. And one of the questions is, how could this be for me? Or what is this showing in me? What am I focused on? That's one of I think what am I focused on is the question I ask myself the most. Even though in my mind, when I think about it logically, I always think, okay, this is happening for me somehow. How is it happening for me? But before I get to the logic, I'll ask myself, what am I focused on? Because if I notice that I'm focused on something very negative, I can quickly switch it out and say to myself, that's kind of negative. Maybe I would like to focus on the positive aspect of this instead. And that immediately helps. That brings some relief immediately. Mm-hmm. And then later when I reflect, I think, oh, how is this working for me? And that helps. So asking myself these questions helps me to refocus and to be more conscientious with my thoughts and thus my feelings and thus what I'm creating and attracting.
I like that. I like that. And it is exactly what the reality formula teaches, that we ask ourselves those questions. How is this for me? Not against me, at me, to me. How is it for me? How does it offer, or what does it offer me? Or what is the lesson? What is the growth opportunity? What is the I think that's right. I think also what this perspective gives us, this lemonade attitude gives us, is the ability to look at our core beliefs, some of the things that we at core have believed about ourselves, and um, and reframe it in a more positive way. Like, I'll give you an example from my own life, a core belief that I grew up with, because we were a family that had a lineage belief of what is often thought of as poverty consciousness, that sort of there's not enough and there'll never be enough and we just can't, we just barely get by kind of mentality. And of course, with that being what the lineage focused on, that was what the lineage harvested, was the results that proved that true, because that is, again, part of being a vibrational being. You put out that energy, you vibrate at that energy emotionally, you have all the feelings that go with it, in other words, and then you look for it unconsciously, and then you attract to you that which verifies it. And this is the reality formula. This is exactly what we all do. So that whole poverty mentality I grew up with, and so I had that, but there was something else that was more basic and more true, that when I got in touch with it, it was an easy shift, or simple shift, not easy, simple shift. It was a simple shift from seeing my life as it's been a struggle to make ends meet kind of life, which of course brings more of that, to seeing instead my life as being one that's been built on faith, been built on this belief, and that really it really is at rock bottom. There is this belief that I've walked through life with, that I'm going to be taken care of every step of the way. There's just sort of this inner knowing. There's this trust in that. There's this unfolding. And see, I found both of these in me. I found both. I found the part of me, the fear voice that says there's not enough to go around. And I found also the love voice that said, I am taken care of. I'm always provided for. You can trust that. And my life has been a demonstration of that. And then it occurred to me, when I began to shift and see it in the glass is half full sort of side of things, I began to see that not only is it true that I've been provided every step of the way, amply, abundantly, amazingly, miraculously, really, truly, miraculously, things have gone my way over and over again. That's the truth. And not only that, but that is what I came to have, is to live a demonstration of how it is I'm taken care of. And if everything, and I'm just talking about this lifetime, this incarnation, this expression called Lynne, of that which flows through, came in to really validate and verify. I've called it the path of verification many times. Verify that I can trust the universe to provide for me.
Absolutely. I agree 100% there.
Because that's really what the reality formula is. It's basically, can you see it another way? How can you see this in a way that helps you to feel better right now, whether the situation changes or not? Because your lemonade attitude helps you feel better immediately. And if you feel better, you're going to attract better.
There is an example that I've been on my mind this morning. Of course, I checked on Facebook. I don't know if it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday I was on Facebook. And I noticed that one of my Facebook friends is having a midlife crisis. Or so they called it. And this is not uncommon. People have midlife crisis all the time. But it got me thinking, you know, how would you turn a midlife crisis into lemonade? When you find yourself in that place where you are so desperate for change, that you are willing to just do just about anything, change your whole life, everything that you have been working so hard to have and to do and to be, all of a sudden just comes tumbling down, and everything has the opportunity to change. What you get to do is decide, what do I want? And refocus. And so others might, or you might look at your life and think, okay, I'm just falling apart. Or you might look at it and say, this is a new opportunity at a new life. What do I want? What do I really want? What have I not done yet? Because it is kind of like a second chance at your same life.
I mean, think about the role that contrast plays in our life, this contrast of the way we don't want things to be, and how it shows us, it helps us shape more clearly what it is we do want.